We are back on MorningLine, our final segment with Holly Ladd, our health and lifestyle coach. Good to have you on. Getting some good calls this morning. If you want to jump in, 737-7587. I wanted to ask her something about something that I think you probably are learning about along with everyone else right now, but it's certainly becoming a big deal in Tennessee as possibly the next huge cash crop here, and that is the hemp crop, from which they are now making CBD oil that you've heard a lot about, and I've done several stories on, and a lot of people are trying CBD oil, which is not going to get you high. It has come from a cannabis plant, but hemp, not marijuana. So it is legal in Tennessee. And I'm just wondering, people claim to use it for everything from to help them sleep, digestion, seizures, pain relief, muscle aches. What do you, and it's not just, it sometimes drops under the tongue, can be a cream. What do you think? It's still early on in Tennessee. It's early on,
but you know, the research is promising. I think that my personal feeling is if something helps you, use it.
Right.
So if you try CBD oil and you find that you get relief from anxiety, if you sleep
That's
better,
another one.
If it relieves your pain, if it benefits you, like I'd rather have you do CBD oil than an opioid, or CBD oil than a sleeping pill. It's a natural substance. It comes from the earth. It's pretty harmless.
Yeah, you can't overdose on it. You know, that's the one question is dosage. How much do people? It's still in the developmental stage there, but I mean, it's non-toxic. You can't overdose on it. At the very least, it's not cheap.
No.
It's just not going to do anything for you, you know, and
right.
I don't know, the rest of the country right now, of course, in many states has already passed recreational marijuana, and of course hemp is already there as well. In the state of Tennessee right now, a gram of CBD infused like hemp bud is more expensive than marijuana on the street.
Is that right?
And it's legal. Not that you buy that on the street, the hemp bud, but it's just because people who are law abiding want to try the benefits of CBD without getting high.
Yeah.
And that's what hemp does for you. You will not get stoned from it, even though you told me you've tried it. Some people say if they take a certain type, it can make them relax and get a little more drowsy before bed, but it's not getting you stoned.
No, but yes, you're right. I used it for a while and I tried it out because I wanted to know, you know.
Sure.
As a health coach, I want to try things before I talk to my clients about them, and it was very relaxing. I don't need relaxation. I relax pretty easily.
You have meditation and all that, yeah.
And my body's very sensitive to sedative type of substance, right? So for me, I felt CBD oil made me just a little too relaxed. You know, it was.
Yeah. Now I wonder what type you had, because some CBD oil has some elements that others don't, but.
And that's the whole thing, is we don't know yet. We don't know, and you don't, it's not regulated. So you.
FDA has only approved a couple of CBD drugs for children on seizures.
Yes.
But you're right. It's right now I put it in the category of a lot of the herbals and vitamins that we know have anecdotal evidence, but are not FDA approved, be it echinacea, vitamin C, things like this. It's in that category really right now. Which is another reason, and I've asked you this not just about CBD oil, but all kinds of supplements that aren't regulated. How do you know you're getting a pure supplement? Because it's not regulated, and some of these things are tested and they say, oh, there's no CBD in there. There's very little fish oil in these tablets.
Yeah.
How do you go about when you buy brand? I guess you research brands and know that what you're buying has what's advertised.
Yeah, and I think it's a good question. And yes, many studies have come out showing that, you know, a supplement sold at the drugstore is really, you know, safflower oil. There's really nothing in it. So yeah, there are certain brands that I use that are sort of what they call medical grade supplements that, you know, doctors will prescribe, that, you know, you can't find them in the drugstore. You actually have to
order them online,
or go through a healthcare specialist, chiropractor, acupuncturist. You know, a lot of these people will sell supplements, and they tend to be a higher quality.
And if you find them to be credible, that's the bottom line. You just have to get referrals. You can check online if you can go to, you know, a lot of them have independent testing that have lab results and things like this. But it takes some research, and oftentimes when you find a big jar of something that you know is like, wow, and it's real affordable, there's a reason. Okay, the good stuff is by definition just going to cost you a little bit more. I mean, how many pills do you take a day? I mean, I know you're not taking pharmaceuticals, I guess, but vitamins and things. Will you take a handful in the morning of certain pills?
I take quite a few.
Do you really? You have a little pill box?
I do, yeah. Sad. It's
no, so they're all there. So you have a pill box?
I do. I do. I've got my AM. I take maybe 6, and my PM I take maybe 5, and sometimes some of them are duplicates. So I don't know, maybe 8 per day.
All right, that's not a ton. Others who take a ton. So is there anything special you're taking this time of year because of the cold and flu season? That's the big thing. I tell you what, in the summertime, and I'm running, but I knock on wood, very rarely if ever get sick when the weather's nice. But for a lot of reasons that we know, in the wintertime, you're indoors more, people, germs are shared more, there's a reason for it. What can you do? What would you say to stay healthy? Because I get sick every year.
Yeah, well,
every year.
Take vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Make sure you have enough vitamin D.
Make sure you're supplementing with D3 because we don't really get it through food.
And is that something that's absorbed sometimes by the sun and we don't have as much of it? Is that one of them? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, the sun. We haven't seen a lot of that.
We haven't, right? Yeah. So vitamin D, important. Elderberry syrup is a wonderful way to boost your immune system.
I've started using it. And I don't know if it's placebo. Let me tell you, it tastes good.
It's good.
It tastes good. So they said that can even help with you feel the onset of a flu.
Yeah. Yeah, so elderberry syrup is great.
Okay.
What else? Let's see. Zinc is a very potent immune booster. So eat foods rich in zinc. So lots of nuts and seeds, sesame seeds, or supplement. You want to not eat sugar.
Okay.
Sugar suppresses our immune system.
All right.
So avoid the sugar, which this time of year, you know, it's everywhere. So avoid the sugar. Get your sleep.
Yeah. Good sleep.
You know, be active, exercise, boosts your immune system. So
yeah, I try to do the same thing I do year round, but in the wintertime it just gets me.
And wash your hands.
Yeah, you gotta wash your hands.
Constantly.
Constantly, because shaking hands, hitting stairwells as you walk down with your
door handles.
You're getting everyone else's germs on it. All right, I was just wondering along those lines if there's anything else. The elderberry syrup is an interesting one. I hadn't heard of that till last year. A friend of mine in the newsroom recommended it, and I tried. I was already sick when I started taking it. I don't know. I hope it maybe limited some of the symptoms after a while. You've used it before?
I've used it before, yeah. And so I feel a cold coming on. I start pounding elderberry syrup. I start drinking tons of liquid bone broth, chicken bone broth.
What's the story with bone broth? I see that everywhere now. Bone broth. So is that made from taking bones and boiling them?
It is made from taking bones and simmering them for hours and hours and hours.
Okay, now you can buy like a little drink. I saw in a health food store. It says bone broth, chilled bone broth, and you just drink it. I haven't tried it. Was it?
Well, I don't drink it cold.
Yeah, I guess I could just boil my own, right?
You make your own, yeah.
All right.
I make my own.
So what's, and what does bone broth do then?
So bone broth sucks out the collagen and all the wonderful minerals from the bones of the chicken or the beef or whatever you're making it from. It's got collagen, is super beneficial for healing your gut lining, for your joints, for your, hair, nails, everything. And just if you look back to sort of, the chicken soup remedy for a cold,
right.
It's that.
It's the same. It's funny. That's probably at the heart of it. I just made some chicken soup, and when I make it myself, I'll buy a whole chicken, I dice it up, and I throw it in a pot, and I boil the whole kit and caboodle for maybe an hour to make my own broth, which maybe some of that bone broth stuff comes in, and then I take the chicken out, skin it, and then put the meat back in with vegetables.
Yeah.
That stuff's great. It keeps you healthy. All right, so maybe that's what it comes from. And it can be any kind of bone, chicken bones, steak bone, pork bone.
Mostly it's chicken or beef.
Chicken or beef. Okay, chicken or beef to make bone broth.
Yep.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I'll give that a shot. Do you have any? Are you a believer in resolutions? New Year's resolutions? Me either. We've talked about this.
No.
I am not a believer in resolutions. Not that I think it's anything wrong if you can start one and stick to it, but I don't need the January 1st to kick in a resolution. I mean, if I'll just decide to do something.
Yeah, I'm more of intentions. What do you want your year to look like? What's your intention for 2019? Okay,
and set that kind of game plan there.
Yeah. But a resolution seems so resolute.
Right.
And then when you don't reach it, then you feel horrible.
Yeah, then you kind of feel bummed about it, and then you backslide, maybe.
Exactly.
So don't punish yourself if you just don't stick with something, and set reasonable goals, I guess.
Right.
With me, it's all just anything that's going to work over a long period of time has to be a lifestyle change, and those are the toughest changes to make.
And that's why I exist.
That's why you come on the big show. Hey, it's good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
And we'll see you in the new year.
Happy, healthy holidays.
Healthy holidays. I'll be back with a programming note about tomorrow right after this. Stay with us.